Imagine a pain so intense it actually has a flavor. It tastes like copper, like old pennies and blood filling your mouth. You are standing in the dark, ankle deep in the freezing filth of the River Thames, but you can't sit down. You can't lean back. The walls are pressing in on your ribs, and somewhere above you in the light, a man is turning a handle that will stretch your ligaments until they snap like dry twigs. They say the walls of the Tower of London are made of stone. They aren't. They are made of screams. For 1,000 years, this wasn't just a prison. It was a machine designed to break the human spirit before it destroyed the human body. You've seen the Hollywood version, the brave knight who spits in the villain's face. But the reality is quiet. It's slow, and it is absolutely terrifying. Today, we aren't just looking at history. We are living it. I am going to walk you through the longest 24 hours of your life. From the moment the Traitor's gate slams shut behind you, sealing your fate, to the little ease where sleep becomes a weapon, to the rack that will make you wish for death long before it comes. And here is the promise. By the end of this video, you won't just know what happened here. You will feel the cold dampness in your bones. You will hear the rats in the walls. And you will have to answer the question that has haunted prisoners for centuries. When the pain starts, would you betray your own family just to make it stop? Let's be honest for a second. We all like to think we're the hero of our own story. I do it too. I watch movies about brave resistance fighters or stoic samurai and think, yeah, I'd take the torture. I'd never talk. I'd hold the line. But then, I stub my toe on the coffee table at 2 in the morning and I'm out of commission, whimpering on the floor for 20 minutes. The truth is, we have no idea what we are capable of enduring, or what we are capable of doing, until the lights go out and the door locks. We think we are solid, but we are fragile. So let's find out how fragile you really are. Right now. It is 1597. You might be a Jesuit priest practicing the wrong religion. You might be a noble accused of plotting against Queen Elizabeth. It doesn't matter. Innocence is a luxury you can no longer afford. What matters is that you have been taken. Your 24 hours begins at the water's edge. Most tourists today enter the tower from dry land, buying tickets and eating ice cream. You don't. You come by water. It's midnight. The tide of the Thames is high, black, oily, and slapping violently against the side of the barge. You pass under the archway of the Traitor's gate. The water here smells of the city's waste, of rot and decay. This is the last time you will see the open sky for a very long time. As the boat bumps against the slime-covered stone steps, you look up. The White Tower looms above you. It was built by William the Conqueror specifically to terrify the Londoners, and 500 years later, it's still doing a great job. It blocks out the moon. You are dragged up the wet stairs. You aren't being taken to a dank cell just yet. First, you are taken to the lieutenant's lodgings. This is the first move in the psychological game. They want you to see the normal life you are losing. You smell roasting meat. You hear the clink of wine glasses and warm laughter. The lieutenant of the tower is having dinner with his family, safe and warm. He looks at you as you drip river water onto his rug. He doesn't look angry. He looks bored. He pushes a piece of paper across the table. "Just sign it," he says, picking a piece of gristle from his teeth. "Confess. Save us all the trouble. You can sleep in a bed tonight." You refuse. You're brave. You have principles. You believe you are right. He sighs, wipes grease from his chin, and nods to the yeoman warders. Take him to the Little Ease. That brings us to hour 4, the architecture of misery. The Little Ease is exactly what it sounds like, but worse than you can imagine. It is a cell cut into the thickness of the wall. It measures exactly 4 feet square. Think about that. 4 feet. Unless you are a child, you are taller than 4 feet. You cannot stand up. You cannot lie down. You have to crouch. The heavy wooden door slams shut, and the darkness is absolute. There is no window. There is no ventilation. The air is thick with the ammonia smell of the previous occupant's urine. For the first hour, your adrenaline keeps you going. You tell yourself you can handle this. You pace, well, you shuffle, in a tiny circle. But by hour 4, the physiology of torture kicks in. The cramping starts in your calves. Then it moves to your quadriceps. Your back begins to spasm uncontrollably. You try to sit, but the floor is uneven, cold, and wet. You try to curl up to sleep, but your knees hit the wall and your neck is jammed against the stone. This was the genius of the tower. They didn't need to touch you to hurt you. They used time. They used gravity. They used your own body against you. Have you ever been on a long flight in economy class, specifically the middle seat, where your legs just ache to move and you feel claustrophobic? Multiply that by 1,000. Now add the total darkness. Now add the rats. You can hear them skittering in the dark corners. You feel something wet and furry brush against your ankle. You flinch, but you bang your head on the low ceiling. You scream. No one comes. The silence is heavy, pressing against your ears. By hour 10, you are delirious from exhaustion, but you cannot sleep because every time your muscles relax, you fall over and hit the stone. Suddenly, the door opens. Light floods in, blinding you like a physical blow. You try to stand to meet your captors, but your legs collapse. They don't work anymore. The guards have to drag you out by your armpits. They take you down deeper, into the bowels of the White Tower. The air gets colder, damper. You are brought to a room lit by flickering torches. There are shadows dancing on the walls. Shadows of instruments that look like farm equipment, but wrong. There is a device here. It looks innocent compared to the others. It's just an A-frame of iron hoops. This is the scavenger's daughter. While the rack, which we will get to, stretches you, the scavenger's daughter does the opposite. It compresses you. It folds you into yourself. They force you into a kneeling position on the stone floor. They clamp the iron hoop over your head. Then they bring your knees up to your chest and clamp hoops over your shins. Then, with a grinding metal sound, they push your head down to your knees until the two hoops lock together. You are folded in half like a piece of paper. The pressure on your chest is immense. You can't breathe deeply. You can only take shallow, panicked sips of air. Your spine feels like it is being bent backwards against its natural curve. But the worst part isn't the bones. It's the blood flow. The compression is so tight that the blood has nowhere to go. It starts to force its way out of your nose, then your ears. It is an agonizing, suffocating panic. You are drowning in your own body. They leave you there, just for an hour. Sign the paper, a voice says from the shadows. It's the lieutenant again. Just sign it, and you can stand up. Your vision is blurring red. Your lungs are burning. But you shake your head. You still have some fight left. Hour 16, the rack. You survived the compression. Now comes the expansion. You are carried, because you certainly can't walk now, to the most famous device in the history of human cruelty. The rack. It looks simple. A rectangular frame of oak raised off the ground. There are wooden rollers at each end. Thick hemp ropes. They lay you down on the cold wood. They tie your wrists to the top roller. They tie your ankles to the bottom. You are spread-eagled, vulnerable, staring up at the damp ceiling. The questioner leans over you. He smells of ale and garlic. Who are your accomplices? Who helped you? You stay silent. You bite your lip. He nods to the executioner. The handle turns. Click. The ropes tighten. Your arms are pulled straight above your head. It's uncomfortable, a deep stretch, but bearable. You think, I can take this. Click. Now the tension builds. Your shoulders are being pulled out of their natural position. The ligaments in your knees are straining, vibrating like a guitar string tuned too high. You can hear the fibers of your own muscles stretching. Click. The pain is blinding. It's a white-hot fire in your joints. This is where the famous Anne Askew was broken. She was a woman accused of heresy, and she was tortured so badly on this very device that she couldn't walk to her own execution. They had to carry her in a chair and tie her to the stake because her body was essentially ruined. They don't want to kill you. That's the trick. If you die, they lose. They want you right on the edge. They want to turn your body into a prison of pain. The handle turns again. There is a sickening, loud pop. Your right shoulder dislocates from the socket. The scream that tears out of your throat doesn't sound human anymore. It sounds like an animal caught in a trap. It echoes off the stone walls. "Who are they?" the voice demands. "Give me a name." And this is the moment. The breaking point. The pain is absolute. It is the only thing in the universe. Your principles, your bravery, your ego, your religion, they are gone, evaporated. There is only the overwhelming biological desire for the pain to stop. You whisper a name, any name, your neighbor, your brother, your best friend. It doesn't matter if it's true. It doesn't matter if they are innocent. You just want off the wood. "Enough," the lieutenant says. Hour 22. The shadow of the axe. You confessed. You broke. You signed the paper with a trembling hand. You are thrown back into a cell. But this time, you aren't alone with the rats. You are alone with your shame. You sold someone out to save yourself. You realize that you aren't the hero of the movie. You are just flesh and blood, and you broke just like everyone else. The sun is coming up over London. It's been nearly 24 hours. The door opens one last time. It's not the torturer. It's the priest. "Prepare yourself," he says softly. You are led out onto Tower Green. The air is fresh. It smells of wet grass and the river. It's shockingly beautiful after the darkness. A crowd has gathered. In the center, a block of wood. Standing next to it is the executioner. Maybe it's the infamous Jack Ketch. Ketch was known for being clumsy. He was a butcher, not a surgeon. When he executed Lord Russell, it took him 4 blows to finish the job. After the first hit, Russell reportedly looked up, blood streaming down his neck, and said, "You dog! Did I give you 10 guineas to use me so inhumanely?" You kneel. You feel the sawdust under your knees, put there to soak up the blood. You place your neck on the block. It's greasy from use. You close your eyes. You hear the rustle of the crowd, the wind in the trees, and then the sharp intake of breath as the axe goes up. You hear the whoosh, and that is where your 24 hours ends. The Tower of London is a museum now. You can walk through those same rooms. You can take selfies with the beefeaters, but if you stand in the right corner, in the quiet of the Wakefield Tower, you can still feel the weight of it. The terror soaked into the stones. History isn't just dates and battles. It's human experience. It's the limit of what we can endure. So I have a challenge for you. And I want you to be brutally honest with yourself. We all have a breaking point. We all like to think we would protect our loved ones no matter what. But imagine that room. Hour 16. Your shoulder popping out of the socket. The handle turning again. I want you to go to the comments right now. Don't just type "great video." I want you to answer this. If you were on that rack, and the only way to make the pain stop was to give up the name of the person you love most in the world, would you do it? Yes or no? No judgment, just truth. Because I think 99% of us would scream that name before the second click. If you survived this deep dive, hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you haven't seen anything yet. I'll see you in the next one. Try to stay in one piece.